We are coming to your parents' house today. Or are you the parent now? Yeah, you are. Oh my goodness. We are coming to your house today. Yeah, you see your kids? They do not need to have everything. Bummer. I know you're like, no, Desire, no. I have to give them everything that I did not have. That's why I'm working hard. That's why I got this job. That's why I got this degree. What are you saying? Back up. Don't come to my house. But guess what? I'm here at the door. Yeah, okay. Your kids, yeah, that first one, the second one, and your last born, that one that's just your heart and just so squishy. No, they do not need to have every single thing. And that's just fine. Perfectly fine. In fact, even better for them. Yeah, that weekend getaway that their friends were having. Oh yeah, the shoes that now everyone is like jumping into, and all their kids in school now wears that shoe to school. Yeah, that the designer, yeah, I get it. Everybody has it, and you don't want him to feel left out. Bummer. They don't need to have it. I know. No, they don't. No, they don't. Because why? Okay, I'll pull you to the corner for a second. Did you? Flashback. Did you have every single thing you wanted as a 5-year-old, as a 10-year-old, as a 15-year-old? Did you have everything? Did your parents give you everything? Oh, no? Oh, okay. How did you turn out? Talk to me. How did you... 5? Oh, that's what I thought. You turned out 5? Oh my goodness. Who would have imagined? Who would have guessed? You made it? You're okay? They will be 2. Okay, you didn't hear me. They will be 2. They'll be fine. I understand everybody has a phone now, and it's iPhone 27, and everyone has an iPad, and they need the MacBook Air for class. Like it's not. I'm not even trying to be. It's for class. I get it. But if they don't have it, and if the entire family, all the kids have the just regular laptop computer set that you can't afford in the living room, and they take turns using it. Oh, they wouldn't be able to make up for school. Oh, so we can't organize time and plan time properly now? Yeah, okay. You might be doing this for yourself, because actually not giving them everything that they want, you may actually be doing the right thing for them. That may even be the best thing for them. So let's separate you, maybe some insecurities that are, just deeply rooted, and the actual needs that your kids have. Your kids do not have to have everything. I said what I said. They don't need to have everything. When you were a kid, some kids had nicer shoes. Some hadn't. Oh, then we didn't have phones and things. We only got phones like later into like high school or whatever. But they had nicer clothes, nicer shoes. They were the ones who went abroad for vacation. And here was you. At least here was me. I didn't go anywhere. I didn't have the nicest shoes. I didn't have the nicest whatever gadgets. I was okay. I was okay. We were fine. And I'm really gonna stretch here and say you were fine too. You were. You know you were. You were. And more than that, more than the sarcasm and more than the jokes, many adults, according to research, that are thriving today, that they're able to keep jobs, that are resilient through all the curveballs and all the twists and turns of life. The ones that are able to stay the course, the ones that are not spiraling, the ones that are still keeping it together even though it's super hard, many of them come from homes where their parents couldn't have said yes to everything that they wanted and dreamed of. So this idea that our kids and our children must have everything that we didn't have because that made us this and that made them cool and this, and I don't want my kids to feel left out. Cultural noise is just culture, it's just society telling you where you need to be, and there's a lot of like, don't be left out. And when you're already training them not to be left out now, how do you expect them to make more responsible choices with their money later on? Eventually, they're going to be in tune with keeping up the optics and looking a certain way for certain purposes. And it wouldn't be because they want it or because they can afford it. And you're already laying the, might I say, wrong foundation for them. But magically, when they grow up, they're supposed to be more, quote unquote, responsible. You know how they say Teach your kids how to eat broccoli, which I'm struggling with, but teach them how to eat broccoli and how to eat like the vegetables now so they don't have to struggle later with weight. Exactly. That's exactly the same concept when it comes to finances. Teach them how to make decisions now. Teach them how to not have everything now. Teach them that, you know what, you have to prioritize. Yes, you want two things, but we can only afford one. Which one do you want more? And if you get this, you don't get that. Or teach them like there is something called delayed gratification. Fine, I understand. I really know that you want that new phone. Fantastic. And I'm not even saying you don't get it. I'm just saying you get it at X time. All of these precepts are things that you can begin to imbibe into your kids at a very young age. And it starts with saying, no, no, darling, no, Jordan, no, Jake, no, Desire, no, no, no. Okay, we've spent too long talking about this topic already. If you're new here, well, welcome. Where have you been? We've been doing this for a long time now. Join the family. Come on in. Come on in. We can let you in. We have room. My name is Desire, your friend. We keep it conversational here. I'm a Harvard-trained ex-Wall Street professional helping real people like you and I take control of their money. Your money must work smarter for you, not harder. We already work too hard in the workplace, so let's just put something else to work. Working harder than we are and, smarter than we are. Saying yes all the time is not a requirement for raising resilient kids. In fact, saying no is almost a requirement for raising resilient kids. So do not think that you're depriving them. It's actually not deprivation. You are strengthening their muscle to be told no, their muscles to understand that they don't always get everything that they want. They don't always get to do everything that they want to do, that they understand that there's discipline, there's constraint, and there's structure, there's routine, there's a way that you are expected to be. Of course, I'm not saying shutting them out or shutting them down. I'm saying create a healthy atmosphere for them. So they also know that it's okay for them to say no. It's okay for them to also have boundaries. All of these things are interconnected. And we're not here to talk about behavioral, lifestyle, and how to raise your kids. I'm just here to tell you they don't need everything. No, they do not. And you don't need to go out on a limb every single time your kid says, I want this next, new shiny toy. And you're like, I can't really get it. But now you're trying to bust your behind because you want to get it for your child, which sounds noble, but is it? If your child has a safe home, a safe roof over their head, they have food on the table, good food on the table, they have access to education, they have love and emotional support, they have basically everything that they need. Okay, maybe you can throw in opportunities to grow and explore here and there, and that doesn't need to cost you extra cash, actually. That could just be through things that you do at home, through activities that you curate at home. Then they already have more than enough foundation to grow into contributing adults to the society. Our goal is to build something that helps to shape their future, not to build minions that wear us in our or our dream people or the people that we wish that we were. Because you are the way you are for a reason. You have achieved and you've thrived up till now for a reason, for certain things that were instilled in you. The funny thing is our society just has a way of making everything feel so urgent and feel so necessary. It may not really be necessary or that necessary. Modern parenting has a way of making it look like, oh, if you don't get that thing, your child is going to miss out on this educational opportunity, or this is a developmental tool, or that if you don't do this activity or if you don't do that, then they're missing out on something grandiose. But are they? And we need to, come to the table and have this conversation. Are they really missing out on the foundation or on the essentials? How is it such that we grew up and we're fine, but all of a sudden parenting is this like monumental thing that you have to get through and you have to build around, and it has to be such a huge part of your budget outside of everything that you're already juggling? I mean, let's make it make sense. Make it make sense. You're already doing so much. You're already providing good education for them, a good home, good school district, all these different things. And then on top of that, you have to be saddled with all sorts of requests of activities, of trips, of this, of that. And then it's like, oh no, it's an investment in your child. Is it? Is it an investment in your child? They're not saying that you shouldn't do all these different things, but within moderation and within limits. And more than often, do you really need to say yes to everything? You need to ask yourself that question. And at the end of the day, you are the one who's financially stretching to try and keep up. keep up with the, oh, my child did this too, and my child has that too, when really it's not a requirement. And the truth of the matter is, life isn't really about what you buy for your kids, because all these things and all the stuff they will forget. It's about the life that you build around them, how you're emotionally supporting them, how you understand their growth, how you're taking into account how their personalities. It's a lot more emotional stability and love and support than the stuff that you build around them. In fact, you can build all that stuff around them and be completely absent from their lives, because you have to make the money that you're using to buy all the stuff around them. So find a balance and try to prioritize properly. But the good thing is that, do they need all the stuff that you're buying for them to grow into contributing adults? No, they do not. If you ask me, I'm going to prioritize three things. And number one is value over volume. One of the most powerful shifts a family can make is to prioritize value over volume. So you're not just buying them more things, you're buying them better things, you're buying them more meaningful things. You're not just buying them stuff that they will forget or break or do whatever with in a very, very short future. Maybe you're building experiences that can shape their world perspective, their global perspectives, that can maybe shape their experiences, that can help them understand that there are people on different stratas of life. You might be here and there's someone who's here, there's someone who's there. It doesn't mean that any of these people are better or that you're better than anyone. It may just even help them see a world where things can be a lot more united, a lot more understanding of the cocktail that is life. We have people at different levels of the economic strata. It doesn't mean someone who has more is better than you, and doesn't mean that you're better than someone who has less than you. Fill them with experiences that can stay with them, especially when they're in that, very lovely phase of maybe about 5 to, maybe 12, when they're still absorbing so much and they don't think they know too much just yet. You can help them shape their world perspective through the experiences that you help them build. And it could be, activities based on love and emotional support in the family. It could be building their resilience muscle, either, by making them do chores, volunteering, serving the community. I mean, there's so many things that you can choose from to help them shape and grow into very, reasonable adults. Let's take, for example, you need to prioritize between going to the museum, that's like, historical museum that you've always loved, or buy them PlayStation 5, I think is what they have. I don't know if it's 6, something. Buy them a PlayStation. It's sort of the same cost, but you only have room for one. Instead of asking them, oh, do you want a PlayStation on a trip? Maybe you help them go on that trip, because you know that the trip is going to help them with knowledge. It's going to stay with them for much, much, much longer. It's going to be that memory that they can internalize. When we did this with, mom or dad. And they can talk about that experience for a long time to come, versus a PlayStation 5 when, the year after or 2 years after, it's now redundant and there's a new PlayStation that, are more stuff that they can't even get. The clutter that you're buying, the stuff, that will collect dust. But the memories, that will stay with them for a lifetime. I hope that we understand the perspective with which I am explaining this. You want to give them as many memories as possible, worthwhile memories, not just any memories. Like, let's give them memories that last and not just anything and everything that they ask for. By so doing, you're also teaching them that consumption should be deprioritized. You will consume, but it shouldn't be the highest thing on your budget. Number 2, let's teach value and self-reliance. You want to teach them that some things that you have, like I mentioned earlier, will require patience. Yes, you want this. That's okay. I have nothing against that, but you would have to wait X number of weeks, X number of months to get it. Wait until your birthday, wait until your next birthday, wait until Christmas, then you will get it. Some things require you to earn. Also, are you going to do chores for that? Are you going to go volunteer to be able to earn that? What do you think you can do to earn this amount of money to purchase whatever you want to purchase? They need to understand the idea that money doesn't just drop from the sky. Yes, daddy can gift me something, mommy can gift me something, but if I want something, they also need to understand that they need to earn to get that thing. Some other things require trade-offs. Okay, you have a couple of choices, but you can only pick 2. What are your top 2? Force rank them. That's also something to teach them. Everything is not microwavable. I want this and I get it. I wanted that and I had it. Oh, someone had this in school and it made me feel, some type of way emotionally. And so mom hurried to the store and got me some. No. You need to understand that life is a process, and we have to, every desire that you have to almost filter it. Is it a now thing? Is it a later thing? Or is it a never thing? Because never also exists. Never is also a choice. Because you desire something doesn't mean you must always have it. Hey, I desire to to have a Ferrari night right now. I couldn't even, I don't know. I don't know about a Ferrari, but I'm saying if we're talking desires, I'm sure you can list a bottomless pit of the desires that you want. So why are you feeding your kids that desires are okay and you must have every single desire? Even God doesn't give us every single desire of our hearts, every single. Although He did promise that He would give us in accordance to His will, but not every single thing. Some could even be dangerous to your health. Oh, you want to give someone something for their birthdays? Well, earn towards it. Oh, you want to go somewhere at the end of the school year? Save towards it. Oh, you would like to buy this like new kicks because you're so into shoes? That's great. Well, you can start saving a little bit out of your allowances just so you can get it. At some point, we need to understand that is about process, and there's a way to earn and there's a way to get certain places. And some things you just can't afford, they're just out of your budget and it just doesn't happen. A child who learns that there's patience in the game, that there are trade-offs, that there is an option for never, will eventually grow into an adult who can actually manage money responsibly later on, because all of these things they would have to battle with as a fully grown adult. They would have been introduced to these concepts and it would have been a part of them. Later on, when they're making these decisions, they can then say, all right, how do I prioritize this on the grand scheme of things? And the last thing is you lead by example. Yes, you want to teach your kids all those different things. And yes, maybe they don't have it or maybe they can't have it. What about you? What are you showing them with your lifestyle? Children learn faster by what they watch you do versus what you tell them. So if they're watching you constantly stressed about expenses and chasing the next thing and never home because you're always working, what are you passing on to them? What values do you want them to hold on to? How are you leading, by example or not so much? Or are you exempting them from decision making? Or are you bringing them to the table, especially if it's appropriate? This is what we're going to do. How should we think about it? Bringing them into your decision making, showing them how you eliminate or you go through your process of elimination. Now, if you don't have that conversation at all with yourself or with your spouse, yeah, there's no place to even bring your kids into. But it might be fun to introduce them. Okay, we have to do this. This is a decision we're thinking about making. What would you contribute to that? How would you think about it? What's your option and why? It doesn't mean that their options would be permitted or their options would be, but at least you would work through that process with them. You work through that strategy building with them. You work through the thought process with them, and they see what that can look like in real time. It doesn't mean you're telling your child every financial detail of the household at that point in time. It just means that you have moments of transparency and you can carry your child along. For example, okay, we want to plan a trip for, summer next year. Or should we buy a bigger TV? Or should we do this? There are options out there. Let them think through it with you. And you guys can then arrive at a decision. If you don't go with their choices, it's also good to help them understand why. Make sure that they understand that these are the pros and cons. If we did this, it may not work. Also, for the collective good, is this beneficial to one person or is this beneficial for us as a unit, as a family unit? They need to learn that not having everything is not failure. It's just part of life. Life just doesn't throw everything at you. At the end of the day, your kids are not going to absorb every single thing that you bought for them. They may not even know. They may not even remember, but they will absorb your decision-making process. They would absorb how you talk about money, how stressed you are about money, how stressed you are about your job, how stressed you are about picking up that extra job. They would absorb, your success and your setbacks. They would or how you treat your success and your setbacks. This is why, I was successful at this. This is why I probably wasn't so much. And these are the things that I have learned about the success or the setback. So instead of trying to fill your kids' room with all the stuff that they can get, How about you teach them security? Because you had a setback doesn't mean you're a failure. It's just a setback, and you just need to get up and go for the next one. Or wisdom or perspective. These are the ways that you make decisions. This is why you land here or there. This is what pros and cons look like. This is how you think about decision making. Weigh this, weigh that. What is the end goal and how do you get closer to your end goal? Yes, trade-offs. Yes, there could be options where you don't even get what you want at all. And that's okay. You move on to the next and hopefully use all the lessons learned from that last situation to inform the future decision making. That helps them with the ability to think independently. And that's way more powerful than any gift, any stuff, any gadget that you can ever gift them. And that is exactly how you give your kid a head start, especially with finances. It's not just about the stuff. Some stuff they can have, some stuff you can give them, but it's way more important to give them the value or understanding value. It gets them how to understand and learn patience. That patience happens. You will inevitably have to be patient for certain things that you want in life, helping them understand financial intelligence, decision making, as we've explained. And those lessons matter a lot more as they transition into adulthood. So yes, can your kids feel rich? Yes, they can. They can feel rich in their character. They can feel rich in their memories. They can feel rich in the experiences that you've given them, not just in the stuff that they have or in the money in their pocket. Not just in the plastics, not just in the pictures that they can show off with, not just, in the clutter, if you will. They can be rich in confidence, rich in knowledge. They can be armed with a very, very strong understanding of how the world works, of the cocktail of life, of the macroeconomic statuses of life, understanding that people are where they are and has nothing to do with their character, especially as kids. Your kids should be able to understand and see empathy towards people who may not have as much as they do, or being super agnostic about people who have a lot more than they do, because at the end of the day, they shouldn't be comparing themselves based on stuff or optics. And that kind of wealth is what lasts a lifetime. That kind of wealth is what helps them grow into contributing adults to society, is what helps them be responsible eventually. And you're giving them a lot more than gold, a lot more than that gadget or that PS or whatever, or Jordans, whatever they're asking for, you're giving them even more. And that makes your kid a lot more wholesome. Now, if you love conversations like this where we keep it real, no fluff, we just say it as it is, I can come to your house, you can come to mine in the comments. Help me understand how you're thinking about certain things like this in the comment. And if you haven't subscribed, we have room for you. Go ahead and click that subscribe button. Brag about content like this. Brag about you loving content like this where we demystify finance. It doesn't have to be like all of this like finance bro type content. We demystify it for regular everyday people like you and I. Yeah, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and make sure that you turn on the notification bell so that anytime I drop a video, which will be weekly, you're right here to join me in the conversation. I'll talk to you on the next one. See ya.